It's me, Patty. Sorry, I just have to fix this because it's never on the right side. Okay. So if you click this video, then you clicked it because you want to know what the hell your shadow is. I'm going to tell you what your shadow is, what a shadow is, not what your shadow is. I can tell you what your shadow is and how to fix it though, but we'll talk about that later. So first off, a shadow, my description of a shadow, you know how people say you have a light, you are a light, things like that. You are a light first, but your light also comes with a shadow. And in order for your light to work correctly, it has to work with your shadow. So your shadow is basically, I want to say it's like the first pain that you felt, first betrayal that you can remember you felt as a child, first hurt, real pain that you felt as a child. I don't want you to think of trauma. I want you to think of the first pain or betrayal or the first sadness, like true sadness that you felt as a child that you can remember. That is more than likely your shadow. And your shadow has different layers to it, but the first one you need to get rid of is the first one the first one you need to acknowledge and deal with is the first one that you've ever felt. So later on in life, you could have things that maybe kept you in your shadow, and you can recognize that as well. For me, I'm gonna tell you an example. What my shadow was, my grandfather was my favorite person in the entire world. I was always under him. He got up at 5 in the morning with no job to make coffee. I was there with him at 5 in the morning. He'd give me a sip of coffee, and my grandma would yell at him, tell him he was spoiling me. All the time she would tell him he was spoiling me. I'm not sure if that was true, but I was always with him, so she could have been onto something. But one day, I used to sit out with my grandfather and wait for the mail. He was retired, so he would wait for the mailman to come on the days that he knew his check was coming, and he would be outside waiting for the mailman. So this day I was waiting for him. We were under our carport, which is an open garage. If you're from down south, you know what a carport is. But we were in our carport, and I had my chair next to his, and I sat there. I waited for him. I waited with him. We talked. It's something we did every day. So I told him that I was going to go, inside, and I was going to watch my video or watch some cartoons. My Rugrats came on. So I think I was like maybe 8 years old. I want to say I was 8. I was like 8 years old. So 8 is also my life path number, which is crazy. It's not crazy because everything ties into everything in your life. My suggestion is definitely look for your life path number and listen to what it says about you. You don't have a choice, okay? It's like getting a horoscope reading. Or getting your zodiac, finding out what your zodiac sign is. There's no choice between your zodiac sign or what your life path number is. There's no choice. You don't have a choice in that. So anyway, I just saw 404, which is an angel number. I'll look it up in a second. But so back to my grandfather. It was my video game. My Rugrats were on, so I went inside to watch my Rugrats for 30 minutes. When I came back out of the room, I realized my grandfather hadn't come in the house yet. So I told my grandma, come to the door, watch me. He's still outside. I'm gonna walk up behind him and I'm gonna scare him. So she came to the door and I went outside to scare him. I said, boo, and he didn't move. So I looked back at her, I was like, he didn't move, he didn't wake up. And she's like, just tap him and see, like, wake him up. He's probably sleeping. So I said boo again, and he didn't move, and I shook him that time. So I walked around to the front of him, and his eyes and his mouth were open, and my grandfather had passed within the 30 minutes that I went inside to watch my cartoons. I didn't know, but at the moment, I was really sad. Of course, I was sad. That's my favorite person in the world. But his passing wasn't only traumatic because I found him, but it was traumatic because my grandmother though I love her to death, and everything that I am, I truly owe it to her. But a lot of what I am, I truly owe to her. But my grandmother she was very strict. She was very very strict. We'll just say strict. Some people would say mean. She was strict, okay? So, remember I told you my grandfather used to always stick up for me when my grandma would say he was spoiling me. So he stuck up for me for everything. Honestly, he stuck up for me for everything because my grandmother was kind of difficult sometimes. Just because me and him were super nice and she was very strict. So from him passing, I felt abandoned. And I felt like he left me to my grandmother. Like, now who's gonna stick up for me? And I not only felt that, but I also felt a guilt that I left him there and didn't make sure that he came inside the house, that I somehow was a reason for him passing. And my whole life, this happened when I was 8. This is my whole life. I thought I stifled that thought. I used to energetically think about the fact that it was my fault that he passed because he was my favorite person. I couldn't believe that he was gone. Until I started suppressing it, and then I thought I forgot about it, and then digging around in my soul, I found this little sad shadow, and that's what it was. It was part of that. The biggest shadow actually was that I beat myself up for my grandfather passing, and at the time, I didn't realize, even up until a few months ago, I didn't realize that I never gave myself a reason not to believe that that was my fault. What I can explain to you is, when I was a little girl, after my grandfather passed, I had a room in my grandmother's house. We had a big house. We had like 4 rooms, I think. 4 rooms in my grandma's house. When my grandfather passed, I never slept in my room by myself. I never slept in my room, period. Like, I had a closet. Like, every room has a closet. I had a closet in my bedroom, and the closet became the scariest fucking thing to me. The closet was so black. I didn't even want to touch the ooh. That's how real it is because my computer screen just went off. That closet terrified me up until I was in my 20s, and I'm thinking about the house. The closet still scared me. I never stayed in that room by myself after my grandfather died because the guilt that I put on myself, it was in the closet. It's like what shadows do when you allow them to engulf you, when you allow them to live the life of your light. They take on dark entities in the room and shadow people and ghosts and dark spirits and dark thoughts, and you build this shit up in your head because you are still hurt and you're still in pain, you're still traumatized from things. And I'm not gonna say ghosts aren't real because energy never dies, but I do know that good lights, good spirits are only come in the form of light. So what I want you to know is, once I found out that I was still carrying around this guilt, I actually found out that about the closet in my house because I was on YouTube. And once I found out, I had already done my shadow work and figured out what my shadow was and how it was made, I went to try to find ways of getting rid of it, because I realized once I found out and I told my mom, like, yo, I've been still carrying this, and started crying when I said it, I knew it was still bothering me. Even though I had never thought about it for years, and then now that it's coming up, I started crying, but it let me know that it's something I still needed to get over. So I found this YouTube video about shadow work, and it had this like narrator on it, and he was walking me through it. And this man told me, he basically, everything was good. Like I was crying so like hard, crying like boo-hoo, like it was so crazy. It was so sad to me to realize, like, this is why I have been scared of the dark. This is why I can't have any light off in my house. Like a complete darkness, I can't have it. I couldn't have it because I was afraid of the darkness I put on myself, you know? And while I'm going through this thing with the guy, where I'm listening to the narrator or whatever, he's walking me through it, he's making me recognize that that door was actually holding my light. This is actually funny, because the guy said, yes, that door that you he actually said a door. This is YouTube, so whatever. He said, yeah, that door that's dark and that you're afraid of, you won't touch. He's like, I want you to walk up to it and understand and look. He's like, open that door and see. And then once I opened the door, it was light behind the door. In my head, I'm doing this like this, listening to this man, and when I opened the door was light. And he's like narrating, saying, now you see that door was holding your light, and it was only the pain and guilt that you felt that was locking the door or making that door scary to you. But then he went on to say some shit like, oh, but then now that you realize that door is actually holding your light, you need to I want you to think about a chair. Think of a chair, and really think of this chair, envision it, see what it looks like, walk around it and see the chair. And I want you to sit in the chair and realize you can't ever harbor, the only way you can harbor this light is when you sit in the chair. And literally, you guys, the chair that I saw was a fucking electric chair. And I was like, fuck this. I was like, this is that bullshit they tell you not to run into when you're on YouTube doing some other shit, okay? And I threw the phone because I knew at that point it was bullshit. This right here, what I'm telling y'all, is not bullshit, okay? I don't want you to go find no shit on YouTube and figure out what your shadow is. I don't want you to do that, because I tried it and it was not safe. Literally, I'm grateful as fuck for as far as it brought me up into that chair part, and I was like, nah, that ain't it. That ain't it. You're not gonna get me, buddy. You're not gonna get me. But, excuse me. I want you guys to know that I didn't just happen to stumble upon this. Like, my gift, my life purpose is to help others find theirs. Don't ask me how I know. I just know that's my life purpose. I can literally tell you what your problem is, where it stems from, and how to fix it. And if you, hopefully I can. Usually with my friends, I just, as long as you're open with me, I can definitely give you some type of insight to your life. That's my gift, and it's my gift to you. It's my gift to the world. So if you do have any problems finding your shadow, if hopefully my video did help you and give you some type of idea of what it could be, you can hit me up, and I can listen to you, and I can help you if I can. I will definitely help you some way, for sure, if you come ask me for help. So, also, I guess I'm like a healer. I don't guess, I am a healer, and I've been coming to find this out, that I'm a healer, and it's a cool job for me. I don't know. It's something that comes naturally, so I don't have to think about it, and that's a cool job. I don't think of it as work. That's what they say, right? You should love your job. You shouldn't think about it as work. Yeah. So, also, I thought to tell you that because I'm wearing my stone that heals the healer. So, yeah. This is the perfect day. I'm wearing green, my favorite color, cactus. But I just wanted to really help you guys, and I hope this does something for you. If you need that help, you better reach out and ask someone for it, okay? And the only reason I'm able to sit here and talk to you about it is because I did my shadow work. Any other time I brought this shit up, I was crying boo-hoo, okay? I couldn't even speak. So I'm here showing up this way and able to speak about it to help others so that you can see this is where you can become. At least this is what you'll look like after, okay? So get that weight off your shoulder. Get that weight off your back. You've been carrying that shit for too long. Hit me up if you need your help. Do your shadow work. I love you guys. Love and light. Yay.